Welcome back to another episode of Life After Sunday, and welcome back, Mr. Bob.
It's good to be back.
What's up, brother?
It feels like it's been forever.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
I think
Been a minute.
2 months, maybe.
It's been at
6
least
weeks.
one, I know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Had a ton going on in your life, and
Yep.
maybe things are finally starting to slow down for you a little bit.
Well, things still ramping up, but we still got to make time. So
We're in
Hey,
the
I was-
off season of fall softball, so that'll help a little
yeah,
bit.
that
too.
helps some. I was sitting there laying in bed this morning, and I just wore out from the week, and I was like, "Do I get up and go? Do I get up and go?" And I was like, "Yes, you get up and go."
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
one of those things. We've talked about it a gazillion times,
have.
and we've all been there where we're like, "We really want to do it this week, or
Yeah.
really want to have an episode." But once we get here
Mhm.
and we get going and it gets over, we're like, "Man, I'm
When
glad
you're
we did
done.
that." Like it's
Yeah.
more just for us as it is even
Yeah.
listeners out
It
there.
is.
You know,
It is.
just getting together and dudes chatting it up.
Yeah. Always
No.
feel better after, even when you don't feel like doing it, you know.
I'm gonna need you to get on that mic, sir.
Yeah, I'm leaning forward and look. I got today's Casey's birthday. He's been on the podcast before. He brought this to me when he came to visit last week. His daughter works for the Astros. He gave me some swag, so I got.
Space City.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's
So
their cool. That's one of their better jerseys, I think.
man. I would never. This thing probably costs $1 zillion.
Over
Jerseys aren't cheap.
Yeah, they're not
easy,
cheap at all.
150 probably.
Yeah, and this is sweet shirt, Space City. Look, it's got some little writing on the inside right here on the back. Kind of neat, like neat little.
Go for launch.
Yeah, neat little Easter eggs, on
Yeah.
the uniform.
But that's kind of like
That's the
your.
only bad part, like this Texas flag, right? I'm just kidding.
That's right in your arena, though.
It is.
Space and
Yeah. This is
uh,
my favorite.
planes and all
So
that.
thank you,
So,
Casey. I'm wearing it for you today, and a happy birthday, old man.
happy birthday, Casey. Enjoyed hanging out with those dudes while they were down.
Good humans.
Shout out to those guys, the Houston crew. Thanks again, Steve, for coming on. We had a blast chatting about the Catholic Church.
Yeah, we had 1,000 views on that
Yeah.
episode, man. That
Pretty
thing
cool.
rocketed up. So, and Steve did a great job talking about his faith and helping educate us Protestants.
Good dude. Today we're going to talk about laying up treasures in heaven. But before we get on that, Mike, this week actually has some quick hitters
Yeah, I
for
got
us.
a few quick hitters. Probably the most interesting one I had. Now, we've talked about Chat GTP a lot. We use it. It's a outstanding tool. But it got me thinking.
But that's it, a tool.
A tool, but you got to think a lot of people don't view it that way. They view anything that it says as, it's going to be free of overt bias.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
Well, but I'm talking about
But yeah,
the general population, like the entire left who's being led around their nose, and being lied to. So if you get into an argument with somebody, they're going to say ChatGPT said this, right? So one night I wanted to educate myself on Islam. So I started researching all the controversial verses, and I found that it was explaining away like these very controversial verses. And it kept saying, these are
Like
only...
you were uploading like verses from the Quran
Yes.
into ChatGTP.
And it was going, these are only to be used in war. This is the extremists. They misuse this, like this is, and I'll tell you an honest feeling. As I'm reading it, I found my brain going, I don't know, maybe I misunderstand Islam. Look, that was just a passing thought.
It was starting to like
It was.
tweak your mind.
And then I was like, no, I'm being manipulated here. So then this is interesting. I'm gonna paraphrase a long exchange I had with ChatGTP. And at this point, I talked about Christians being able to live peaceably in a Muslim country. And it says, ChatGTP said, there are many Muslim majority countries where Christians live peaceably, maintain churches, and participate in society openly. And so I came back with define many. And ChatGTP named 7 countries. And I was like,
It's not very many.
I said, you called me 7 countries as, quote, many. How many Muslim countries are there in the world? And it came back with a huge number. And then so then I come back with, so you define many as 7 out of 50 countries. I feel like I was misled when you said Christians live peaceably in many countries. The reality is that 43 countries do not allow countries to live peaceably or to freely practice their religion. This is great. When AI comes back, you're right to call that out. And I appreciate your honesty in evaluating the numbers. Saying, quote, many was misleading because it in a context, it implied a majority or significant portion, when in fact, only a small minority of Muslim countries provide extensive freedom for Christians. It did a complete flip that if you weren't a person examining exactly what you're hearing,
Yeah.
I would have come away with that and then argued, like maybe with a stranger, hey, Christians can live peaceably in many Muslim countries.
I mean, you can look it up. There's many of them that.
Yeah. And it was 7 out of 43.
If you're ignorant on a subject, like, and you knew about the subject already, you were just testing.
I was testing.
This was like a use case scenario. But if you were ignorant on that and you really wanted to know,
you would
and
come
you
away
look-
misled.
1,000%.
And even ChatGPT came back and said it would be more accurate to say in a small number of Muslim countries, Christians can live with freedoms, blah, 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 blah. And it was, so then I went down as it was, I felt like it was protecting, you know, the Quran and stuff. So then I started hitting it on women's rights. And then I learned, I didn't know this, but if you are a Muslim, you can have 4 wives. That's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
You can have 4 wives. And if your wife misbehaves, you're allowed to discipline her. And if your wife gets caught cheating on you, she can be subject to, once she is convicted in a religious court, she gets lashes. And then for a man to be, and a woman, when they witness, as a eyewitness, their testimony only counts for half of a man's eyewitness account.
Carrie, Monica, and Charlotte, in no way do we condone this behavior.
That's
No,
right.
we're all
That's right.
switching. We're going to get multiple wives, and then
Well,
we're going to spank your booty when you're wrong.
here's the thing. I don't know. I wouldn't want more than one.
Can you imagine the madness?
I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, but I guess it's the way I'm wired, you know, because I'm a Christian, and so I'm wired.
I think that's
to
the way we were wired.
to protect and to love and to be there for them. I'm trying to think of trying to do that for 4 of them.
Can you imagine?
I would.
Couldn't
Yeah, no,
You
I'd
couldn't do it
pull my hair
right.
out.
before.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare, and you can't split your heart 4 ways.
No.
And it just, you know, I'm gonna just say what I think, you know, from Mormonism. I find it, as a man, I'm like, how convenient is it that they took a base, you know, religion, went in the case of Islam, the guy went into a cave. Gabriel showed up and said, you can have 4 wives and you can discipline them, along with many other things. And then Mormonism, he goes out into a field, comes back, and is like, yeah, we can have lots of wives. And in my head, just as a commenter, I'm like, this sounds like a horny man.
So he says definitely a man that
When-
brought it
yeah,
together. I mean,
that a man said, you know what, let's go, let's make this a little better. Let's make this legal. You know, it's just, to me, it just, that kind of helps fulfill that Christianity
Yeah.
is the right way, because you have none of that.
Yeah. And before we get completely off ChatGTP, you know, like, I think it can be great if used correctly, but it shouldn't be your be all for getting information.
No, and
It
you
can
have,
be a tool to help you research or, you know, organize. It's great at organizing, but
discernment.
you have to have some discernment when you're
Well,
on it.
And I consider myself a person who's, I'm very good at discerning. And yesterday, listen, yesterday,
I beg to differ on that.
yesterday, fake news got me.
yeah, it did.
This wasn't the first time fake news has gotten you.
I thought we had hired a new coach. I shared it on the
He
group
got got.
text,
He did.
and man, I got had. And my point is this, and a semi-intelligent man, fairly discerning, and I got duped by fake news. So what does the average person who isn't that way, who just takes surface level data, which is again the left? Think about Charlie Kirk. They say they show one clip taken out of context, and all of a sudden the whole left thinks he said something evil. When you break down what he said, that's not true.
Isn't it quite ironic that the Bible says that even the very elect will be deceived?
Yeah.
Like this is how they're going.
Right.
People are being deceived. Like we're seeing it before our eyes. And like that video you sent that one time, been a month or two ago, about some jet training at Drake Airfield in Fayetteville.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? And I actually zoomed in, and it was like a video from overseas.
Yeah, that's wild because I saw a video of F-35s training in Fayetteville, which is very common. They take off from Fort Smith, they practice in Fayetteville. Why in the world would somebody want to make that fake? And it was. So if you're on X, one of the cool things you can do now, when you see a post, in the right corner is a little circle. That's Grok, the AI. You can press that, and within seconds, it will break down. This video is from 1993. Yeah. It's not accurate. Or it'll give you a background. So that's a neat tool you can use on X.
Well, our generation is really the first generation that has any understanding of this. If you get older than us, they can get sucked into that. It's not that they're not smarter or bright or competent. It's just comprehending that. And even for us, at times we have to really work on not getting got
all the time, man.
But the younger ones understand a lot more than that. But you see now why, like, these people feed on the elderly. Used to be an email that they get, that Habib over and was needing money but
signing
now,
up for it.
Yeah, but now I mean, you'll get. I mean, I get text messages that's like, this is, and it's like it's. You got to pay your parking tickets in Dallas, or you're gonna get blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, I think I've got a parking. Do I have?
Yeah, you're questioning it,
right?
So that explains why when you go to a No Kings rally, it's nothing but white old people.
Yeah,
because they're being deceived.
There was this is back on Bob was saying about the old people being scammed and all that, but we have a buddy that in his workplace, this elderly man was fully believed he was in a relationship with Sarah Evans.
Yeah.
Like they were whoever on the back end was texting this man and even called him at some point, sending pictures. And he was fully under the impression that he was dating Sarah Evans and like sending money and all this stuff, man. And it's just wicked, man.
It's sad. And if you didn't grow up with some sort of technology like they did, it's because it's believable. Like I just said, I feel fairly discerning and I get had. So what happened? No wonder they get smoked.
I love it when you get had,
dude. Y'all hammer me too, man. I gave myself the name Fake News Norman.
What's gonna be ironic is if the Memphis guy really ends up being the Hogs coach.
I'm gonna rub y'all's noses in it and be like, I was right.
Well, I think he's definitely going somewhere.
He is.
Yeah, he's going somewhere for sure. But I don't think it's Arkansas.
And the guy who broke the news with that wonderful graphical tweet, who only has like 150 followers, he just was jacking.
If you actually look at the name instead of On 3 Sports,
which is a big website.
Yes, it's No 3 Sports.
Yeah, so you glance at it, confirming
and
it.
Your brain probably sees.
Yeah,
it wants to see ON3, sees the graphics. Yeah. Oh, well, that's legit, bro. Oh, I got hammered.
I love it. Go ahead.
So the next thing was just that Trump is threatening action to take out some terrorists in Nigeria, and I think it's pretty awesome because
what are these terrorists doing?
They're killing Christians. And in fairness, they're also killing Muslims, but on a smaller scale. All across Africa, you're seeing Christians being wiped out by Islamic terror groups. And even a couple years ago, there was that story where they lined up 21 guys and asked them all to convert. They were Coptic Christians, I think in Egypt, asked them to convert to Islam, and all 21 of them chose death. As they right before they died, they were yelling out in their some saying that they have in Coptic Christians about Jesus, and all of them said, "Go for it."
How about that story? We talked about it before. It was several months ago, earlier this year. And there was like 26 the people in Africa. These terror groups had 26 people, guys lined up in a line, thought they were all Christians. Well, apparently the guy at the end was not, and they all took them one by one, take them out, and they asked the guy at the end, was he a Christian? He was like, well, you guys are willing to die for it. It must be real. So I am. And
Man, God,
Wow.
yeah, that's impressive, man. But that's going on all across Africa, and we as Christians have been complaining about it because the news won't cover it. All they want to cover is Palestine. They want to ignore what's happening in Africa, and just to see a president even threaten it,
it's huge.
it's huge.
And on the backside, China's like, no,
yeah,
do
China
not do that.
Yeah, China, of course, the atheist country that it is, doesn't want us to do that. And so I just think it's awesome. There's so many terror groups. I did some reading on it. You'll have fights where a farmer, his group kills another group.
It's just militias, like
It's militias. It's lawlessness. The government is broken. Many of the countries there are just a complete and total wreck. And so, right now there are very few Christian militias, so they don't have any protection. So if Trump just goes in and gets some good intel and takes out some terrorists, anything will help because right now they're just getting rolled.
yeah.
They're getting
And
rolled
meanwhile,
over there.
we're over here living
Enjoying life,
comfortable and
not
and
worried about a thing.
free worship and all that, and it's that makes we're soft Christians over here.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Soft, and you got to think. Not only are they Christians, but they're living in a third world environment.
Yeah.
Crummy housing, crummy everything, crummy food, crummy water.
Your life is in jeopardy at every second.
Simply because of your belief. And then on top of all that, getting robbed, getting your farm raided. It's a nightmare. And we need to continue to pray for them. And the reason it matters, and Trump, like I said, is the first president to actually say, if you keep killing Christians, we're going to come guns a-blazing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And number two, Africa, the Middle East has been the focus for the last 50 years. In the future, Africa is going to be everything because China's trying to get into Africa. Islam is racing to take over all of Africa. And underneath Africa are all the minerals that the world needs to function.
This just popped in my head, and this is a geopolitical question. But do you think, I know China doesn't want us, they want to kill the Christians just like the terror groups are, but is China scared if we go in with troops, boots on the ground in there, that we'll have a leg up on them with those minerals?
Yeah, that's their
Yeah.
China's number one goal
Absolutely.
is the minerals. And China views any religion a threat to the state. So that's why they've been killing and suppressing the Muslim minorities in China, and and you can't even have a Bible, in China. So that's the future, man. The world is in the next 100 years. The clash of Christians and Islamic thinking is gonna be pretty significant.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that with the election of a communist Muslim in New York City, Mondami. That's scary. And to think how much the world has changed from September 11th, 2001 to 2025. Look at what's happened.
Insane.
Yeah.
Mayor Giuliani, man, just amazing mayor, fighting through 9/11 to now, If you just look up some of the things Mondami said, it's unbelievable. And New Yorkers who lived in New York, part of the problem in that election is that the other people that were up for vote, the other candidates were garbage. But native New Yorkers did not want Mondami. It's all people who have lived there 5 years or less.
Wow.
And so that's that massive immigration going on that flipped the city on its head. So great thing is it gives me a lot of comfort is how to bring, the book back into this is if you really read the Bible, there is a coming clash. It's all part of God's plan, in my opinion. At the end of the day, when we get to the end times, this is what it's going to be. Yep. And it's we're progressing to it. And the thing that makes me feel better is I live in a state where that's not a reality in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Probably not my kids' lifetime.
Yeah.
But if you live in Houston, a major blue state or blue city,
Right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. And you'll have Muslim calls to prayer at 3:00 in the morning. You get a city council who backs up the mayor and what they want to do. It's happening.
Like you said, you made a point the other day, and you said like electing a guy like that and mayor is worse than even governor because he can make the call for a 3 a.m. Muslim prayer.
Man, that's why if you live in cities, that's why the county is so great. If you live in a city, as police officers, like when we had to hammer down on a drug house, we use city ordinances. City ordinances like, has your dog been registered? Is your grass too high? That's against city ordinance. There's so many ordinances. Yeah. And you can use that to put pressure on a house. Well, think about it from the perspective of somebody who's wanting to put in, in order to put that in, they had to change the city noise ordinance because the noise ordinance is what we use to write tickets for loud music. Well, they had to change the city noise ordinance in order to get the Islamic calls to prayer legal. So they changed the noise ordinance, and like I said, they can call to prayer early as 3:30 in the morning.
That's on your state or your county, city level.
That's at the city. The city level can a mayor and the city council can change your. I mean, think about it. My mother-in-law was burning a pile of leaves in her yard in Lawton, Oklahoma, and the fire department showed up. Said you can't have a fire in the city, and then if you do it again, we're gonna write you a ticket. And meanwhile, we're out here in the county burning giant piles, Yeah. So who wants to live? I don't want to live in a place with city ordinances.
Right.
So that's pretty much it on the quick hitters, man.
Have you got any more thoughts on that?
No. I mean, that's just it's scary.
It is
because you think that the power lies in the hands of our government up high. But the truth is, it's the little things. Well, down here on the small level, when stuff starts to change, then it can grow from there.
And America was founded on Judeo-Christian values.
Right.
Well, if you have a Muslim majority move into any area, because of our system and the freedom it allows, it can be flipped on its head in one election. Yeah. And I give you the example of Gaza when they said, you can rule yourself. We're going to democracy, by golly, vote. And who did they vote in? Hamas, a terror group, to be their government. Mm-hmm. So, and in the Middle East, freedom and democracy always elects a radical. So that's something we have.
Ironic that
it's something
we have in New York.
Yeah, and it's something we have to worry about. And our system can allow, if you have enough population who believes in it, to elect radicals.
But it's important, all this to say this, like it's important that you vote your worldview, your biblical worldview, your Christian worldview in your local elections. It's massive.
It's massive.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. And there were several million who didn't even vote in New York. So, I mean.
Well, I'm sure they're very strategic.
Oh, it's a plan, brother.
There's a plan there.
There's a plan.
Underlying plan, of they take over a small area.
Yes.
And then they can grow it from there. you know.
They take over this small area, this small area.
Yeah.
this small
Yes,
Well,
no,
area.
that is, you nailed it. That is the plan. There's a YouTuber who's a radical left wing guy, and he has identified a county in Texas where he is going in and he bought a huge plot of land because it's cheap in the middle of nowhere, and he's offering free housing to his people.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and the guy who lives there said, within a year, he's going to be able to have enough people in that county to sway the election to make that guy the commissioner. And then and that county is rich because of oil money.
Yeah.
And their little cities they're little, but they got lots of money. That guy is going to probably be elected for this small country in the middle of nowhere county, just like that.
That's scary, dude.
That's scary. And again, using our freedom and open system against us, and it's happening. I mean, you go and look in Minneapolis or in Minnesota. They've concentrated Somali populations into, I think it might be Minneapolis, and they had a guy, a Somali, who was running for mayor. He lost to a liberal white left wing psycho. But he was waving the Somali flag. I mean, turning it just all Somali, not American. And so that's what happens when you get a concentration. They don't change to be Americans. They just bring whatever they have and set it up there.
Plant their flag there, and
Plant their flag. There in the UK, the white liberals there, there's a city where they were complaining about the British flag because they said it was offensive and made the immigrant population feel intimidated. And he was trying to pass an ordinance to prevent the flag of Great Britain being flown in that area to keep them from feeling oppressed by the mean flag.
dude,
Mm.
you don't have to be here.
Dude,
Anyway,
well,
that's-
yeah. So
It's a real live game of Risk.
that's a fact.
That's it.
I mean, the strategic. I mean, I remember playing that board game. I mean, and it was, I love it. But you have to be so strategic on where you start and go from to take over.
Yeah, and you don't come through the front door because we'll kick your butt.
Yeah.
You come in the back door and just slowly inch your
Slide
way
in a
in.
window.
Yeah, it's scary, but hey, it's all part of God's plan for the end days.
With all these crazy stories, it just shows how temporary this world is, and power fades, and persecution rises, and truth is questioned, and all this stuff. And it just brings me to like our main topic here of how do we lay treasures up in heaven? Like the Bible says, don't store up treasures here on earth,
Right.
to lay them up in heaven. So, and then we're gonna talk about how we do that.
Yeah, and that'll give you some hope as well in this ugly world we're living in. That'll give you some hope. And I don't know much about this subject, so I'm coming from probably the listener's point of view, which is I didn't think you could lay up treasures in heaven.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What we're doing right now is laying up treasures in heaven.
Like this podcast?
Yes. Are we doing this to profit us at all?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. The reasons we're doing this is for other people to make it to heaven.
Okay.
There's your treasure.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, because we just like say the fruit of spirit, you know, God says that we need to give fruit. You know, your life should show fruit.
Yeah.
Well, if you're the tree, okay, does a tree eat its own fruit?
No.
No. What is fruit for?
Others.
It-
Yes. And nourishment.
It's for nourishment and reproduction.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Reproduction. You got the seed in there.
Fruit is for nourishment and reproduction.
Okay.
Well, those fruits that we're laying up, they're not for us, but the treasures is other people joining us,
Okay.
being there with us.
Well, that's the question I want. Because I told Chris, I'm like, I thought heaven was pretty much the same for everybody, except for I do know that somewhere in the Bible it talks about if you die for the Christian faith, that you are a martyr and there's an
Yeah.
elevated place for you in heaven.
You get the martyr's crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only part I knew of it. I thought it was just all the same.
Well, exactly what Bob's saying, like 1 Corinthians 3:12-15, this is a paraphrased version, but it said, every man's work will be revealed by fire. Wood, hay, and stubble will be burned up,
Burn away.
which is works done, things you do, just like Bob was saying, things you do on this earth for glory of man or for to get prestige or for your comfort or whatever. But the gold, silver, and precious stones, works done, just like Bob was saying, for God's glory and for that alone and not for the glory of man. That is what you lay up in heaven. Does that make sense?
So it'll be, I don't know, like, so what is a treasure in heaven? I don't know if you have the answer for that, but
I don't think I do.
is that like, you
To,
know,
to me, it's people being saved.
Yeah.
It's those things, because we want. It's not. Christianity is not a selfish religion. It's selfless. And so when we look at those treasures, we got to look at, it's not get all you can all you get, sit on the can, poison the rest. I mean, that's not what we focus on. We focus on bringing others and showing them the love. And when we get to heaven, there's so many more people that we've brought in that have shown the love. And it's not, look at me at what I did, but it's just like the love for your own kids, and love for your own family, and treasure is something totally different
in heaven?
So, the Bible also says too, like in Matthew 6:1-4 says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. But when you do that, like, there is your reward. So like you go out and say, I gave somebody $100 because they needed food, and I come here, come to my wife or whoever and brag about it, seeking their glory.
Right.
There's my reward. I just got it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just got my reward.
I got
Versus getting it later in heaven. And the Bible actually talks about 5 crowns of rewards. You named one of them, martyr's crown. There's a crown of righteousness. That's for staying faithful to Jesus. Crown of life, preserving through trials and persecution. That's being persecuted. That's the martyr's crown, I guess. And incorruptible crown, self-discipline and resisting sin. Crown of glory. That's for like the teachers, preachers, mentors, shepherds, leaders, all that. And then the crown of rejoicing is the soul winner's crown.
So I wonder if, like, when we're walking around, it's kind of everything is equal, but maybe when you're walking around, you're like, man, that guy was a martyr. Like, he's a stud. Like, are you wearing something to, like, it's almost like ribbons, like in the military, like maybe like you have,
Right.
and it's like you have different jewels, and maybe your crown looks different than this guy's crown over here.
Well, in Revelations, I think, or somewhere it actually says, we will take our crown with our jewels and rewards and cast them back at Jesus' feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not sure where that's at.
Yeah, and that's the whole key to it, though, is understanding, like in heaven, our minds are, okay, well, this guy did so much better than me, so he's going to have this big house up on a hill that, has way more stuff than I do. But whether that's true or not, I have no idea.
Yep.
But all I know is it won't matter.
Yeah, and that's
I think the point here that I want to get out is, like, the things you do on earth, you don't want to do them for man's glory.
right.
Yeah.
You want to do them for the glory of God.
So that's the key point.
That's the key point. Like Bob said, I don't know about the house on the mansion on the hill. Yours going to be bigger than mine. Frankly, I don't care. I just want to get there.
Yeah.
I'll be a janitor in heaven.
Yeah.
Versus,
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? That's better than hell. Anything in heaven is way better than hell. But the point I want to make here is that when we do things, we do it with a mind focus on Jesus and for Him alone, and we're not going to the soup supper on Thanksgiving, the food bank, and serving because we want to get an attaboy
Yeah.
from somebody.
We want to get in front of the cameras. or
Yeah.
We want to make sure somebody sees something so that maybe it helps us later on.
Yes.
Well, then now that treasure's here.
Yes.
If we do this podcast so that every time we look and see how many views we've had or how many, we're trying, even though we're trying to grow that, but is that why we do what we do?
Correct.
If it is, then now we've already received our treasure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's doing things and like salvation is our foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything everything after that, what we do, the works we do, it's got to be for His glory alone, and not. Again, I keep going back to trying to get approval of man, or like, man, let me give $100 to this guy on the side of the road, but let me make sure I call Channel 7 and get them down here so they can see me, put me on TV, giving this $100.
Yeah.
I give the $100 and don't tell nobody. That is how we're supposed to do it.
Well, the Bible says that God is love. And love is the key in everything that we do. Well, love itself is selfless.
Right.
And so if we're outside of love, then we're wanting. So we have to learn how to put ourselves in that love of others, that it doesn't matter if anybody knows what we did.
So then it's not so much when you first hear laying up treasures in heaven, you imagine, here I am, I'm putting in these deposits and I'm trying to bank. You put a deposit here, here, here. When I get up there, they're going to be like, man, look at you. Here's all my stuff. That's, I guess, a commoner view. But when you break it down further, you realize it's not that, especially when you learn that it'll all be thrust into the fire. I think, there is some mystery in that. We don't know all the answers, but I think what we can take away from it is exactly what you said. The quiet love, the quiet doing things for God without bragging about it here on earth, because you want to. You're putting that quietly away up in heaven. Yes. And we don't know what that is fully. So that's a mystery to it, right? And not everything is fully explained.
No, but I think I think that giving and serving and sacrificing and doing these things with the right mindset, you are banking stuff in heaven,
right?
And you're going to get a crown with jewels in it, but again, you're going to cast it back at Jesus' feet.
So it kind of comes back, yeah. So the message
again,
is,
it's not even it's about Jesus, like Bob's saying. It's not about that crown.
Well, we have to understand, it's hard for us to wrap our minds around treasure that is different from monetary.
Yeah.
Because in our mind, treasure is tangible. You can hold it in your hands.
It's crap.
My precious.
Yeah.
My precious. We can hold those things. And true treasure can't be held in your hands.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, let's think about
it.
Memories of your kids and things that that they've done and all that.
That's a great point too.
Man, if you could put those in a safe and have them as a treasure, would you not?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But they're not tangible.
Nothing tangible. That's a great point. I think well said, Bob.
That's good.
Because those are the true treasures. You
Yeah.
can't put your hands on it.
Yeah.
Everything else is going to die away, wither away. It's all crap.
It's going to get burnt up.
And humans are obsessed with crap, buying stuff, money, and just
all that crap's wood, hay is going to get burnt up.
You find
matters not.
Again, it's just we're all so obsessed with treasures on earth. It's like I always said, we're trying to some people are trying to fill a cup with holes in it. You buy something. If I do this, I do this, and 2 weeks later, it's drained out again. Because
by the time you put that one thing in it,
it's drained.
You're looking for the next thing.
It is a temporal dopamine satisfaction that will fade away, and you can only get true peace through God.
Right.
And then that's the only thing. It's not an Amazon purchase. It's not a new car. You get a new car and you feel on cloud nine, and 6 months later, it's old like everybody else's. It's got scratches on it. It's dirty. The new car smells gone.
And you got $1,000 payment.
And you got $1 zillion payment for the next 700 years. Not that you say you can't get that stuff, but you get
Right.
what I'm saying. If that temporary high is just that temporary.
Yeah.
Y'all remember when we were kids, there was the Richie Rich movie,
Yeah.
and the whole thing was trying to get into the vault, and because the richest man in the world here, and when they finally got into the vault, what things were in the vault? It was baby shoes, it was pictures
Pictures.
of memories, it was
Oh, wow.
those
I haven't
things.
seen that.
Yeah, there was no wealth in there. It
Oh, that's
was
cool.
so that for us, I mean, let's think about it. When we reach that point, when we're in heaven, and you have that Jesus debit card that could buy you anything, what monetary value would you need past that? You don't.
You don't.
There's no need for it.
Yeah. You don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything else on that, Bob?
No.
That's good.
It was good.
I'm bringing the goodness.
I thought that was good.
Good
He
stuff. And I
explained it to the commoner.
Yeah, and I think what we want to reach to our listeners is like, are you doing things for man's glory, or are you doing things that are going to be eternal? That's the whole key
Yeah.
here.
Well, and
You
how
know?
cool will it be? And again, this is just me dreaming that when you get to heaven, all the prominent people here on earth, they're nothing. And all of a sudden, all the people who quietly laid up stores in heaven doing stuff that they never told anybody about on behalf of Jesus, maybe all that gets revealed and you find out all these just regular human beings, lowest of low, highest of high, quietly doing things to further the kingdom and not bragging about it. All of a sudden you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's going to be pretty cool. If that happens, I'm sure it will. I want to run the dog kennels in heaven. You were say janitor. I want to run the dog rescues.
I want to be like taking care of the horses. Those are some. Got to be some. Can you imagine the horse, the white horse that's up there right now that's going to carry Jesus back?
Oh yeah,
That dude is probably a monster.
Gonna muck the stables, huh?
Man, I'm gonna be out in the woods talking to the raccoons and the birds, having some combos. Man, it's gonna be that would be awesome.
All we're trying to say here is just live every day and do things in light of eternity, not for temporary pleasures here on earth, not for temporary gain, not for temporary recognition. God's recognition is all that matters. And yeah.
Yep. Show his glory in all that we do. Wherever we're at, showing people God's love. And that's enough. Showing that love to people, because without love,
You have earth, this chaos, death, misery, and destruction.
it's all dead.
all dead.
That's good.
That's good.
So good.
Explained it to me. Thank
Bob,
you.
pray us out of here.
Sure. Father God, we just thank you for this morning that we were able to come and just talk about something that maybe, truthfully, we don't completely understand, but I feel that your Holy Spirit gives us wisdom and knowledge as we go throughout, and just help us this week, that it help quicken something new, that maybe see something different, to live that life that helps other people. And we're not out here trying to profit off of other people, but we're out here trying to put that treasure in heaven of knowing that others know who you are, Father. We thank you that for all the guys that are listening, that you're there for them, and you put us here for them. And we love you and praise you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.